Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences, due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. On this episode of the 1836 podcast, we hear from Ms. Patsy Ann Burdine Jones, who was born in Newton County, Arkansas, on June 12, 1936. Patsy Ann Burdine Jones was born on June 12, 1936, at Red Rock, in Newton County, Arkansas. Patsy attended grade school at Log Hall and high school at Mount Judea, graduating in 1954. Join us as Patsy shares her memories of growing up in Newton County during World War II. She talks about her daily chores, the typical food she ate, the first time she saw a car, learning to drive, hauling hay with a team of mules, riding a train to Washington, and so much more. This is her story.
My name is Patsy Ann Burdine Jones. Birthday 6/12/36. I was born at Red Rock. I went to grade school at Log Hall. Building is still there. They have church there and things like that. High school at Mount Judea. 1954, I believe. 48 from the 8th grade. 13. They married and moved. Candy, Snicker chocolate. Oh, we'd play hide and seek and just different games. Then we'd have races, who would be from here to there. Hopscotch, Ring Around the Roses, tag, baseball. I played first base. Played basketball in school. Yeah, they said I was a pretty good guard. I was very aggressive. We had an old tire, but we had fun with it. And my cousins would come over in the summertime from Hasty, Maxine and Charles and Joyce and Lillian and Doris and Bernice. They would come over and stay a couple of weeks in the summertime. And oh, that was when they had fun. Down on Big Creek over there by the big bluff, the Lyles Bluff, that was a good place. Had two huge rock out there. And we'd swim from the bank to one, and then we'd swim from that one to the other, and then from there across onto the other side. Had a lot of fun. Seven or eight or somewhere through there. I rode a train from California up to Washington. Grandpa's brother lived in Washington, and we went out in California in the World War I or II or whatever it was. He wanted to go see his brother. We rode the train from California up to the state of Washington and visit Uncle Eddie and Aunt Flora. They served food on the train, and I know we ordered our dinner. Can't remember what we had. When we come back from California, we come back in it was a Model A car, but it's pretty cool. I think I was about 12. Oh, you could just get so much of anything. And you had your stamps, and you'd buy according to what you could get with, And there was Grandma and Grandpa. Grandpa and Uncle Warden worked at a barrel yard, and then Grandma, she kept boarders, and that's how she made her money. She's cooking all the time, doing dishes. But she was cooking for the boarders, and they made pretty good money like that. They bought that farm they have over there. It's where Uncle Warden lived. And they had all of that back up toward the mountain. And we turned down there where Carol and Aunt lived, and we'd come up to our place. When the war ended, everybody embraced, ran over and embraced and cried and all of that. It was a happy day. Yeah, the war ended. I didn't do so much in the early times. War didn't have done the feeding. But when they left and went to Kansas City to work, I done the feeding. And he built a manger or whatever you call it along the side of the barn, and I'd put hay. I'd go up, throw it down in that. The cows would line up and eat there. And it's kind of enjoyable. In the field, from when they bale it or whatever, I'd have to take the middle row in the back of the wagon. They would get the sides and throw it up on the wagon, and I'd get it following the wagon and pitched it up from the back. And I can't remember who stacked it on the wagon, but anyway, that's the way we got our hay to the barn. Mule, yeah, they were good. Made a good team. Jude was the mule, and I can't remember the mare's name. I look back, and we'd have to, this at night, we'd always go to bed early. We'd get up early. Grandma would have breakfast, so we'd be out of the kitchen by 7, eating and all that. She might cook a pot of beans over an outside fire. We would have some meat, but we wouldn't have a lot. We would can it. I learned my cooking more or less from Mag. No, she said that she had to do the cooking and dishwashing and all that. She said if she ever had a daughter, they'd never do that, and she wouldn't let me in the kitchen. Yeah, she'd never let me in the kitchen. So when I married Bruce, I learned to cook. An awful lot of my cooking come from his mom. Yeah, Grandma said she had to spend so much time in the kitchen that she said that if she ever had a girl, they'd never have to do that. So she would let me in the kitchen. Then when Grandpa passed away, I had to do a lot of it. 12. It'd be hot. Wipe the sweat, but we had a meal, and everybody'd bring a dish, and we'd have it at Grandma's house. All the family and some of the neighbors. And I used to have a picture where we had it spread out on a makeshift table we'd made, and we had good times. You wanted good meat, you would feed the hog corn. Everybody'd have their hog about the same time. Like we'd take care of ours today, we'd take care of somebody else's tomorrow, and well, you'd put the hog in a pen. We'd make head cheese and things like that. It was after the weather cooled, because you had to salt your meat down, and you'd have a freezer to put it in. They'd salt it down, and they'd hang it. Oh, yeah. Everybody come out in the yard and watch the car come down. Somebody was sick in the community, that's all I know. Pickup. I think it wasn't a Ford, I think it was it's a Ford or a Chevy, I can't remember which. And town to get your groceries or whatever you needed. We'd get groceries and feed and stuff like that. Dressed warm because it was cold on the back of that truck. And you wanted to get in the middle because people would stand out here and you'd be protected. My boyfriend taught me how to drive. Well, Uncle Warden did too. Yeah, he let me drive the school bus for a little ways. Standard school bus. Billy Joe taught me how to drive more than anyone. Well, there's some things I keep to myself. You say anything, shh, we don't talk about that. And so you didn't talk. He lived down there, like the Twin Bridges. You go up this road up over that. He lived up in there. Kind of blonde, red hair, kind of. He was a good person. A real good-hearted person. Jasper and Deer. I get to thinking about Grandpa, and I get to thinking about Grandma, but Grandma lived a lot longer than Grandpa. Everett, there was Ruby the oldest, and Mama, Effie. Ruby, Effie, Everett, and Warden. Ruby had 5 or 6 children. Mama had 5, I think. Everett had 2. And Warden had 2. Well, I went out the front door and out and around the garden, you remember. Down the hill, across the field, and up, you remember the John Sutton Hill? Well, Virgin Hillman lived there. And I went to their house, and Hillman said she knew something was wrong when she seen my light. So they come back over there. Grandpa was gone. Didn't have a phone. We got electricity in the early 50s. No, it was 48, I think it was, that we got electricity. Indoor plumbing. It was after we got electricity. Oh, twice a week we took a bath. Well, we had a big tub. Them big long tubs? Set it up on the back porch. Heat our water. And we'd put up a thing for a shield. And we'd take our baths in the tub. We'd catch it in the cistern. Well, there's only certain times a year you could catch that water. If you didn't get it at the right time, it wouldn't be good water. So we'd be sure we'd get it in the months with the R. January, February, March, April. In May, June, July, August, we catch the water with the R in the month. That was cold weather. Oh, we took a sponge bath in the wintertime. We don't have the winters that we had back then. Had more snow then than we do now. It's a mild, warm winter now. But yeah, we've had cold winters back then. Then we had a spring. You remember where Warden's house was? We'd go on past his down in that branch. There's a spring coming out the bank over down there. And we'd get our drinking water and all there and take it back to the house. The conveniences of today. People were closer back then than they are today. People are really selfish today. Make the world better now. Everybody would work together and help each other. And now back when I was growing up, the farmers, they would help each other on the farm. Like if Grandpa had hay, the farmers would come in and help him, then they'd go and help the other person, that help each other. And I think they need to do that today. But we enjoyed life during that time. It's good old days. take care of yourself and help a friend. Anybody needed help, help them. Finance or whatever. If they needed help, help them. And that's good advice today.